popcorn and candy.
The great at the crack of dawn, sing while I wipe down the awning. Hey y'all, good morning.
That is right, mi gente, and good morning to you. Today, this Monday, we are going over the fantastic In the Heights movie. People, I have not been this excited, this emotional, this moved by a movie in I don't know how long, and I had to just review this one instantly because, man, I love it. Now, first things first, I'm going to make this a spoiler-free review and then do more of a reaction and spoiler-containing one later on in the week because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it. This movie was just released on Friday. You can get it on HBO Max or go to theaters. I had the wonderful privilege of going with my gorgeous wife to see it in theaters. It's been over a year and maybe half since we've even been near a movie theater with all the COVID craziness. So to see this in the big screen with her, amazing. The picture you're seeing right now is just to give those who didn't know the info that this was originally written by Lin Manuel Miranda. And this was a play that he wrote in college. It was actually something my own wife saw off Broadway. So this is one of those movies that has been pretty popular recently, the concept of taking a Broadway show and making it into a movie. But I gotta tell you, man, I could not have been happier with this movie if my excitement isn't showing right now in my voice. I want you to pause and just take a moment. Think back to a time where you had a dream. In this movie, the word sueñito is everything, literally meaning a little dream, something every person carries with them at one point in their life, if not for their whole life. And man, this movie gives it to us. We have our main character, Usnavi, a man who dreams of returning to the Dominican Republic to be in his home country, the place he loves, the place where he had the best days of his life. You have his friend Mia, who's the first one in her family to go to college. And wow, how the community supports that and how that's translated into this movie. You have Vanessa, Usnavi's love interest, a girl who wants to do fashion, who wants to just grow beyond the world she's lived in and show the world who she is. And all the other characters, whether it's smaller ones who just want to do something simple, like just take care of the ones they love, or those who dream of something bigger by going to a new location, a new place. We all have a sueñito in us, and this movie just gives it to us in such a fantastic way. Watching this movie, I can just feel the sueñito of its creator, Lin Manuel Miranda, as a man who grew up in the Heights themselves, a man who has become such an icon. For those of you who may not know much about this man, he is someone that is on his way to getting the coveted EGOT, an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. He has 3 out of those 4s. All that's dangling in front of him is an Oscar, and I will be amazed if he does not win it with this movie. This man has such amazing talent, creativity. You may have heard his name in the production of Alexander Hamilton, which was a fantastic musical, although for me, it was a little too musical. And what I mean by that is, I love movies. Obviously, that's why I made this channel, that's why I do this. But for me, a musical that I'm able to enjoy is one where there's a balance between singing and dialogue. So something like Hamilton, Into the Woods, or even Les Mis, although all good movies by their own right with fantastic cast, actors, and everything, it's too much for me that it detracts from the joy. However, you give me a movie like La La Land or The Greatest Showman, or even classics that a lot of us know, such as Mary Poppins or Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Those are movies that are musical, but have that balance of singing and dialogue that for someone like myself makes it a little more, if I want to use the word bearable, but definitely enjoyable. And In the Heights delivers. And Lin Manuel just, wow, bro, if you ever see this, I love what you're doing, man. And I can't wait to see what else you have up your sleeve, because this movie, amazing, 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 amazing. one thing that is done fantastically well in this movie is the music. Now, granted, that's a given. It's a musical. You can't have a musical without music. That's redundant. But what I'm saying is that the Latin culture explodes off the screen visually and audio. Like, there were so many times watching this movie that I'm literally just almost dancing in my seat, wanting to just get up and dance with my wife and enjoy it. And it moves you. It captures that Spanish culture so fantastically well. And it never feels like it's cheap or forced or a gimmick. It's not like how you'll sometimes have another musical that might throw just a few bits of a Spanish beat in the background, the drums or the guitarra or whatever it could be, just to give you that, like, oh, hey, that's Spanish, I should like this because I'm from that background. No, like, the whole thing, it's authentic, it's sincere, it's its own love letter to the culture. And that, to me, was one of the biggest things about this movie that I didn't expect, mainly because of where I grew up. And that's one of the things I wanted to mention real quick when talking about this movie. Now, our protagonist, Usnavi, is Dominican, okay? You have one of his friends, Mia, that is Puerto Rican. You have another main character, Abuelita, who is Cuban. You have other characters from so many different lands and countries. And one of the things that I just loved is that there is at no point the sense of one race is dominant or superior to another. Growing up where I grew up, unfortunately, it started off as more of a Puerto Rican community, and then as other cultures slowly kind of came in, unfortunately, there felt like there was a lot of hostility or competition, or, we do this better, or we do that better, or, I don't like the way they do that, or how dare they took that from us. Like, the Caribbean itself is a melting pot in its own of so many blended cultures. You have people who came from Tainos, Spaniards, blacks. I mean, it's a mix of everything, which is why the language is the same and yet so different. The food has so many similarities. The music. I mean, it was one of those things that as I'm watching this movie, I didn't care in the sense of who was from what country or what mattered. I cared about the people, the individuals, and the community. And you could see that. The one character, Abuelita, I loved this woman. She reminded me of my own abuelas, my own grandmothers. And what made her so wonderful is that Usnavi, your main character, explains she never had any kids of her own. In the very beginning of the movie, he says this, but instead she adopted the community, the block, the corner. So everyone knows Abuela. Everyone loves her. Everyone reveres her. She's, in a sense, a matriarch in this community. And it's beautiful to see that no one says, oh, but she's Cuban. So no, there's just love for her. And to fall so deeply emotionally in love with her as a character in the span of a movie, maybe it's because it reminded me of my own culture, but damn, I was floored by how attached I got to this woman in such a short amount of time. With that, mi gente, my people, the ones watching this video, first off, I just want to say thank you for getting to this point in the video. I love that I'm able to do this, and movies like this are why I wanted to make this channel. I laughed, I cried, I danced, I went through every range of emotion in this movie because of how everything was done so well. And that's what the magic of movies is. And I wanted to convey just a part of that to you and build that excitement so that you can say, man, I gotta watch this movie, because I feel like this isn't just like a classic in the making. This is a movie that years from now, as my own children get older, is going to be a favorite. I feel like this is a movie that years and years down the line, they're going to try to make a remake the way they're now doing one for West Side Story. This movie is pinnacle. I know this feels like a stretch. Maybe it's because it's been so long since I've been in the theaters. Maybe it's because it hit me on an emotional and a cultural level. But if you have any chance to watch this movie, watch it. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Don't take it as, oh, maybe it's just, excitement or overhype. It is worth every minute that you're watching it. And honestly, I just want to know what you think about it. If you haven't seen it yet, once you do, comment. Let me know what you have. If you have seen it, tell me your favorite scene. Tell me your favorite character. Tell me your favorite song. Right now, my favorite one is Piragua, the one that Lin Manuel sings. It hit me. It got me wanting to dance. I was listening to it just this morning before making this video. So just tell me what you think of it. And keep an eye out because, like I said, I'm going to do a spoiler review later on just because there's so many aspects to this movie that when I left the theater with the wife, I'm literally just like almost babbling. I wanted to make the video that night, but I wanted to kind of give myself just a moment to compose myself so I wasn't just rambling and talking and making no sense. So this is me not rambling. However, this is me telling you, watch this movie, give it the attention and love it deserves, and I'll see you guys for the spoiler one once you've seen it on my next video. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you guys soon.